Good evening, everyone, all appreciators and lovers of Chinese chengyu sayings. Laszlo Montgomery here with one more for your expanding collezione. Today we're pulling out a couple of the heavy hitters from history. We have the mighty Xiang Liang and his even mightier nephew, Xiang Yu, appearing. This is the third time Xiang Yu's showing up in a CSP episode. We first encountered him in Season 2 with Si Mian Chu Ge, and again in Season 3 with Po Fu Chen Zhou, and last time in Season 7 with Jie Zhu Dai Chou. And he's back again, and why not? This Chinese saying comes from the definitive source for all things Xiang Yu, the Record of the Grand Historian, the chapter entitled Xiang Yu Ban Ji. And today we look at Xiān Fā Zhì Rén. Let's see what this means. Xian as an adverb means earlier, before, first, or in advance. Fa means to send, issue forth, launch, emit, and a whole bunch of other definitions. Zhì, in this case, means to control or regulate, and Ren means a person. And when you string them all together, first launch control person, though I'm betting Sima Qian meant a man when he said a person. The star of this chengyu isn't Xiang Yu. Instead, it's his uncle Xiang Liang. And as the story begins, the Dazi-Xiang uprising was sending shockwaves throughout the Qin Empire. All that sordid stuff was going down with Qin Ershi, Zhao Gao, and Li Si. And we remember the Dazi-Xiang uprising and the two colorful characters who led it, Chen Sheng and Wu Guang. In a lot of history books, it's even called the Chen Sheng Wu Guang Uprising, and it lasted August 209 to January 208. Now, some of you who really pay attention remember Chen Sheng from the Season 3 episode Hong Hu Zhi Zhi. How can a sparrow comprehend the ambition of a swan? Chen Sheng was just a commoner who was also a man of great ambition. And though his uprising failed in its mission, he did go down in history as the one who lit the fuse that led to the bloody end of the Qin Dynasty. So while this whole uprising was going on, Xiang Liang, a major guy at the time because of his oversized reputation, well, he got written out of the script very early on, and had he not died so young at Dingtao in 208 BC, the successor dynasty to the Qin might very well have been the Chu dynasty instead of the Han. Xiang Yu was a mighty warrior. He learned from his uncle Xiang Liang, and lest we forget what Xiang Yu did to avenge his uncle's death after vanquishing the Qin at Jiulu in 207 BC, 200,000 Qin soldiers buried alive on his orders. Well, that all came after. One day, the governor of the Kuai-ji commandery, a man named Yin Tong, invited Xiang Liang to call on him and to discuss the latest situation regarding the viability of the Qin and what the future portended. Kuai-ji, by the way, is the ancient name for the great city of Suzhou. So while he was sitting with Yin Tong at the Kuai-ji commandery, they began exchanging news and viewpoints, and Yin Tong revealed to Xiang Liang that he believed with so many people rising up in Jiangxi and elsewhere north of the Yangtze River, it's heaven's will that the Qin dynasty shall fall. He further said that he was going to start a rebellion himself and overthrow the Qin. And according to Sima Qian, here is where Yin Tong said to Xiang Liang, Xiān Fā Zhì Rén, the first one to send troops, will be the one to control the people. In other words, the one who takes a preemptive strike, Xiān Fā, can gain the initiative to Zhì Rén, control their opponents, and then the people. And then, in so many words, Yin Tong asked Xiang Liang, are you in or you out? So during the conversation, Xiang Liang studied Yin Tong closely, and in the short span of their discussion, he knew Yin Tong was weak, incompetent, and hardly qualified to lead a rebellion against the Qin, and there was no way he could take orders from a man like this governor. So after retiring for a moment to consider, Xiang Liang consulted with his nephew, and he told Xiang Yu, go get your sword, go in there and kill Yin Tong and decapitate him. And right here is where Xiang Liang, with Xiang Yu at his side, seized control of the Kuai-ji commandery and rallied 8,000 men to his side, and carrying the head of Yin Tong in his hand for the gathered crowd to see, Xiang Liang proclaimed himself the new governor of Kuai-ji and appointed his nephew Xiang Yu as a general. And these soldiers who joined him on that day became the core of Xiang Liang and later Xiang Yu's army. So Xiang Liang took these words to heart.先发制人, a preemptive strike was necessary to gain control of the people. One needed to strike first to gain the upper hand in battle. And once that was out of the way, they could control and subdue the populace. So anytime there's a need to say something to the extent of strike while the iron is hot to achieve your objective, whatever it may be, these are the 4 words to consider. 先发制人, the one who takes the initiative first, will be the one to prevail in the end. Same thing in the unforgiving hand of the market. If you strike first and get your product out there before your competitors, you'll seize the day and control the market. You get the main idea. 先发制人, to launch an attack first in order to be in an advantageous position, to strike first to gain the upper hand. And that, my fine friends, is going to be that, thanks to all the staff at the Chengyu Yanjiu Zhongxin and their fearless leader Emma. They're ready to take a nice bit of time off after we bring the final curtain down on Season 9. I thank you all for listening. This is Laszlo Montgomery signing off from Los Angeles, California, and treating you to join me again next time for another exciting episode of the Chinese Sayings Podcast.